Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Larry and this is Your Own Adventure. Today we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. Yeah, I'm talking about the BMX bike that you see behind me. So I've been riding mountain bikes for a little while now, and I've really wanted to improve my skills drastically, and I think a BMX bike is the way to go here. There's a lot of talk about dirt jumpers and BMX right now, and I want to talk about why I think BMX is the best option for everyone, whether you're a beginner or if you're an advanced rider, and why. So if you want to learn more about how I got into BMX and what I've had to overcome as a beginner BMX rider out at the skate park, so let's get into it. How exactly is riding a BMX going to help my mountain bike skills? Number one on the list is pumping. I think that every one of us who is an advanced rider has issues pumping. You might not be able to tell, but if you got a camera and filmed yourself, you wouldn't be going nearly as far down or as far back as you think with your hips. And since I film myself all the time, that's another tip here. Get a camera, get your smartphone, and just film yourself. But since I film myself all the time, I could tell how lacking I am in certain skills, and pumping is one of them. I try to help that by riding my BMX and going to the skate park, which I'll show you. And you get to choose lines that are similar to a trail. You get to be more creative and feel how the bike is reacting. And I don't think that you could get that anyway else. If you're riding the trail and you're out with your friends, you're not going to be sessioning and practicing like you would on a BMX bike at the skate park. That is the huge benefit of having a BMX. You get to session and practice, whereas on the trail, if you're like me, I only get to ride the trail maybe twice a week, and I want to enjoy that and just have fun in the moment, not practice, even though I do that, and I am sessioning a lot whenever I'm at the trail. But if you have a time constraint, then that really plays into whether or not you're just there and riding, or if you're there and practicing. And I think a lot of us could agree that we're usually there and we're riding and not practicing and worrying so much about our form, which that's another thing that could hugely improve our riding. What other skills are we going to improve by hitting the skate park? Well, just overall bike control and balance is going to be improved majorly if you just hit the skate park and you're consciously thinking about what you're doing. And that's easier said than done. But if you just go to the skate park and try to ride the features without pedaling and just pump through every section that you can, you'll start to realize you're not going as fast as you think you are, and that there's reasons for that. Now, I can't tell you exactly those reasons, but most of those reasons are going to be because your form isn't correct. Maybe you aren't engaging your hips fully. Maybe you aren't dropping your heels. There's a ton of skills and body motions that play into how quickly you could move your bike around. And if you hit the skate park and you find that you're not moving as fast as you think you are, then take out a camera and film yourself. Try to understand what you're doing wrong and just improve on that. It's as easy as that. You're going to build on skills, pumping, balancing, and just overall bike control. The reason why a BMX bike is a lot better, in my opinion, than a dirt jumper is because they're more nimble and they take a lot more refinement to control. So if you think of a dirt jumper, they're pretty similar to a mountain bike, right? So how is that going to help improve your riding if you're already riding a mountain bike and you're wondering why you're not able to control it? Well, if you're thinking about that on a mountain bike, then maybe refining those skills on a more nimble bike is where you need to start. And I've seen huge improvements from riding a BMX bike. And get out there on a dirt jumper if you have one, but if you're here because you're looking to buy either a BMX or a dirt jumper, I could tell you that I have both, and I use my BMX way more. Now, I can't tell you that you'll experience the same, but I think that they're more practical and you'll get way more skills and bike control out of a BMX bike just because they are so nimble. The biggest thing that I've learned riding my BMX bike is that concrete hurts. I actually broke my rib riding the BMX, and it was because I was foolish. That's the most notable thing here. You can't go into riding on a BMX bike at the skate park, wherever, and think that the skills are going to come immediately. So the way I see it, it's like creating a very fine wine. You have to let it mature and age. You can't go into riding something new and expect to be able to boost big airs or just flow flawlessly through a skate park. You have to slowly understand the bike, take time to realize how you could control it, and go from there. You're not going to be able to take 10 steps forward without taking 40 steps backwards. And that's what I'm working on now. Whenever I got back onto the bike, I decided to ride very cautiously and work into it. If I go to the skate park with a goal in mind, then I'm taking at least an hour to build up to that goal. I don't go to the skate park and just hop right in. I make sure to stretch, do a warm up, take time off the bike and really register what's going on, understand my surroundings, and just be careful because, I'm not super young, but there's a lot of people who are older than me that might be in a position where they want to learn a new skill or gain more skills on the trail by picking up a BMX bike or dirt jumper. And, I can understand why somebody who was a little bit older would want a dirt jumper because they're bigger. So that's one of the things that's in the discussion, but I would say a dirt jumper would work better if you're a little bit older and you want more support, because BMX bikes can be a little bit small. But let's get back into what I was talking about. If you're trying to take these skills and move them over onto the trail, then you cannot ride a BMX bike like a trail bike on the trail. I've hit pretty big jumps on my mountain bike, and I've suffered falls, and I've had anxiety, but have had the courage to push past that, and I've hit pretty big jumps for the amount of time that I've been doing the mountain bike thing. And I took that confidence wrongly whenever I went to BMX. Now, I've been riding my BMX bike for about a year or more, and it's been a pretty gradual progress. But whenever I really got into it, I went full steam ahead and it just didn't work out. So that's one of the biggest things that I could recommend and pass on to somebody who's wanting to try out BMX for mountain bike skills. Just don't go into it overly confident. You have to be very cautious because, concrete's way harder than dirt, and I've fallen hard on both. But whenever you fall hard and awkwardly on concrete, you're almost definitely going to break something. So just keep that in mind. So what skills have I carried over from the BMX to the mountain bike trail? Well, pretty much everything. I'm able to take what I learn at the skate park and translate it into what I'm doing on the bigger bike. And that's really the biggest benefit of having a BMX bike. So if I'm trying to figure out how to maneuver my bike, say I'm trying to do a whip or try to do a tabletop, I could easily go to the skate park, and I'm not saying that I'm doing tabletops or whips on my BMX bike at all, but I could sit there and it's just kind of like going to college or being at school or going to a library. If you put yourself into a location that's meant for a specific thing, you're going to focus on that thing, and going to a skate park has that same effect. I'm able to go and figure out what my legs are doing, what my hands are doing, on the bars and figure out what way I need to turn my body. All of this stuff can be understood and practiced without having to do big jumps or anything like that. You could actually just, sit on the bike and figure those things out and then try to translate them onto a small jump or, pumping. You could figure out what you're doing with your hips, if you're even pushing through the pump or lifting before the lip to get more speed. These are all things that can be possible if you go to the skate park. And almost every skate park has some sense of flow. Not everyone's going to have a skate park that's full concrete and has like the most amazing surf style skate walls or flow lines. But even if you have a metal park or a wood park or whatever you have, even if you have just some ramps, you're able to understand what you're doing in your body position, and that's how it's going to translate over into mountain biking, is the fact that bikes are the same, they're just bigger or smaller. And so having the control on a BMX bike to maybe push your back wheel out, which would be something like a small whip, or like just having more style on the trail, these are possible and are going to be improved on if you go to the skate park. And I've seen that in my own riding, because I'm able to understand, okay, my front foot is my dominant foot and that's on my left side. So if I want to do something off the lip of a dirt jump on the mountain bike, then I'm going to push and turn a certain way. I'm able to practice that on the BMX bike and understand what my body's doing, bring it to the mountain bike whenever I have a chance to ride it, and usually it just happens naturally and there's no real confusion between what my body wants to do and what the bike's doing. It just ties in flawlessly, and that's how I've seen results from riding a BMX bike at the skate park. And having that improve my mountain bike skills, it's really what I've been wanting. And I think that it's a huge benefit to anybody out there that's trying to get more style, more flow, and just overall more bike skills to hit jumps, be more confident, and just have a good time at the trail. If you like this video and you learned something about it, maybe I helped make up your mind on whether or not you want a BMX bike or you want a dirt jumper to help improve your mountain bike skills, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. It'll help me out a ton, and share it with somebody who you think might be in the same dilemma. I think that BMX bikes are really great for mountain biking, and I love the diversity that all the bike riders are having nowadays. I see BMXers at the trails, I see trail riders at the skate park, and it's a great thing, and it really does help improve your riding if you're just riding consistently. So don't forget to go out there and create your own adventure however you can. Spread some positivity. I'll see you on the next one.